podcast system. Donovan Sadiq, Demetra K. We are in the house and we are back for another fun-filled episode of Don't Believe the Hype. This is Donovan Sadiq section. I am Donovan Sadiq. That is Demetra K. And we are here not to change your mind, but to give you the information so you can make an informed and educated decision. D, you had a show on Sunday. What were you talking about? Let's give a recap.
What were we talking? Oh, we were talking about A$AP Rocky. Yes. Basically, should we cape for him? Should we, put on our superhero capes and go over there to Sweden to, take to the streets?
Right. Is he still in?
Sounds like, I think on the 19th they're supposed to make a decision as to whether they're going to let him go. The prosecutor is looking to hold him for another 2 weeks after that, up into the trial, because I guess there's going to be a trial.
Okay. Well, so you're in another country. You're subject to their rules. Good luck.
I think he's looking at 6 years.
About 6 years.
Yeah, something like that.
And then hopefully the State Department get him out. But guess what? When it comes to a black prisoners, the United States government does not go above and beyond to worry about dark-skinned citizens.
Trump will say, you should have went back to your own country.
Right. And as a military member and somebody who flew airplanes, I'm going to tell you, when I was in survival training, they said that if the plane got shot down, I would most likely be shot on the spot because a black person, a person of color, does not have any value as a prisoner of war.
Right, because we know your government, the one you're fighting for, is not going to say, well, how much to get them out.
Right.
We're going to send one of our highest dignitaries over there.
No, they're not going to do that. But if I look like Opie Cunningham or something like that, all resources will be used
to beer over there, the South Korean flags and stuff.
We'll go ahead and release those $150 billion to get Opie back home. So, and these are the facts. I mean, I know people don't want to hear that, and they want to believe in this dystopia of, it's not like that anymore. Yes, it is still like that. Okay. But let's get to it. And you guys don't forget to tune in to Demetra K on Sundays, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. She's talking to real Facebook Live. She actually is going to interact with you. And later on today in her segment, she's going to go live. So you guys check her out and curse her out. Do what you got to do.
Don't curse me out now, because I curse back.
Yeah, she'll get you. But I got a lot of comments on Did you notice in the last video I left in our Butter Biscuit segment? You didn't? Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. But remember we were talking about butter biscuit and we started laughing? Yeah, that was really
I haven't seen it yet.
Because I had my butter biscuit in my hand. But you guys out there, hey, it is hot out there if you're from Riverside, California, Inland Empire. Over 100 degrees. This is the fourth day in a row?
Yes, but thank God it's cooling down.
Yeah,
we're going to have like an 89-degree day.
Right, 89-degree day coming up.
I mean, look at my head. It's darker than the rest of my body. It's how hot it's been.
Yeah, but you know what, though? I mean, this is what we're paying for. 3 months of, blazing heat.
But it hasn't been too bad, thank God. Up until the last couple of days.
Yeah, because a couple of years ago, remember, it was like 4, 5, 6 days in a row. It was like this roasting.
That 120-degree day we had last year was not fresh.
Right. The only thing I hate is our fire season keeps getting pushed back closer. Because usually you have all our fire season in August.
Right.
And whatever. But anyway, what I want to talk about is...
Like guys, that, huh?
Yeah. Everybody gets tired of it. I mean, I'm getting to a point to where the occupant of the White House, I just turn the TV off, or it's the same shenanigans, all over again, because people just, they buy into it. It's almost like a person getting attention. The more attention you give them, the more relevant they are. Right. The more relevant they think they are. Right. So if you don't give it to them, you just take it away from them. And it is what it is. So recently, the asshole in the White House has basically told people of color, black people, brown people, Mexicans, of course, he's been doing that for a while, Asians, anybody that isn't of Anglo heritage, to go back where they come from, which is kind of stupid, because if you have European descendancy, you're not from here either.
Well, his wife ain't from here either.
Absolutely. And so it's a big uproar, and I'm getting kind of tired of it, because I'm one of the people that are in the know, and this is a distraction.
Right, but the question is, distracting from what?
From many things. We have the Mueller thing coming down very soon. We have the pedophilia thing from a couple of his buddies.
Right, his homie.
His homie.
Home ace Boom, cool.
Picture him and Melania and oh boy, they were probably having those big orgy fests and stuff.
Right.
And Melania was being passed around and all that other good stuff. You know, this is what they do. It's nothing new. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Melania ain't, I mean, she looks like a witch to me. You remember Witchy Poo from HR Puff and stuff?
They showed some before and after pictures of her, and her face was normal, white, normal. And now it's just.
I mean, it's scary.
Like, can she see out of those?
I mean, it is literally scary. So she had a lot of work done because she wasn't a very good looking
she's like Catwoman.
Yeah. So they probably passed her around and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
But let's get real. She it's obvious that she married for the money, and that says a lot. And that says a lot about her. She would rather be married to a racist and give a racist a child than to stand on principle and, you know, make a stand. And
that's what a lot of people are admonishing Melania over. Is like, well, you're a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and you're not saying a damn
silent.
thing.
But then I think about it too. Yeah, I mean, she gonna stand by her man.
And I will always. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and so.
I mean, look at all the stuff she stood by him with, though. All the women coming out, accusing him.
Be best.
What the hell is that?
That's her.
I know. Be best what?
Yeah, be best what? A D-sucker.
Right. Be best.
You know, be best. So, you know, so you know, but again, what have I been talking about the last couple of weeks when it comes to black women? Would black women love to be mentally masturbated? And now that this man has attacked people of color, women of color, oh my God, how dare he?
Right.
We got to do something about it. And they make this, isn't it funny? They make a big press conference and oh, how dare he? And we're going to make these statements and stuff like that. But he's been doing that.
And I'm looking at his Twitter. That's what I'm doing. I'm not listening. I'm trying to actually find the actual tweet. But I'm looking and it's like this. What does he do all day?
Right.
All he does is just tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. All day.
But the thing is, what's the surprise? He's been doing this since he came into office, and before he came into office.
Right.
So you black women out there, what is the big surprise? What is the outrage?
Right.
What is the outrage? And then you got the four women there. Where's the congressional black talkers? Why weren't they up there holding a press conference?
Right. Well, I mean...
Where was Nancy Pelosi? Why hasn't she held a press conference? But do you know what they're going to do to him? We're going to admonish him. Don't say that anymore.
They're going to do what do you call it?
A censor.
A censor, yeah.
Don't do that no more, bad president, okay? Really? You guys don't believe the hype. I mean, it's a waste of time.
I'm looking at it right now.
Where are the black men in Congress standing up? A black woman's been attacked.
What's his name? Tim Scott or
who's a Republican?
Yeah, he tried to. He said it was kind of racist or something.
I wouldn't have sent that text. It is kind of racist, but you know.
Right.
Black men, black women have been attacked. Where are the black men standing up for these black? Where's Al Sharpton?
He's too busy trying to get ASAP Rocky out.
Right.
Yeah, he's dealing with that situation.
Where's your boy Jesse?
Well, you know,
stepping out on his wife again.
Jesse know better. They had to get him back in line when they dropped that
his
love child out there.
On him.
They said we told you to not get off the talking.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if it looks like it, it acts like it sounds like it is what it is. All these people coming out there trying to explain, well, you know, he called you a nigger, but you know that doesn't mean he was negative about it.
Right.
You can't defend that stuff.
Right.
Okay? And don't get me wrong. Words to me are only words. I have to give them power.
Exactly.
I have to give them power. But don't piss on my head and then tell me it's raining.
Right.
Let's use that analogy a little bit better in case you don't understand what we are trying to say here. The man is a racist. We've known that for a long time. People do not get distracted by what they want you to be distracted from. There is a lot of issues coming down the pipe that Robert Mueller is going to be testifying. Pedophilia cases are coming down. We have a deficit, overhead ceiling, a debt ceiling thing coming down. All these distractions.
Right.
Keep your eye on the prize and what's actually happening. I mean, no shade to what do they call themselves? The group or the...
The squad.
The squad?
The squad.
No shade to the squad. You guys do what you guys got to do. Continue to attack. I'm glad you openly called for impeachment. I'm glad that you actually defied Nancy Pelosi, and you continue to do so because you're supposed to represent your constituents, not the Democratic agenda.
Right.
Keep doing what you're doing. However, American people out there and people that are listening to this show, don't be distracted by all the bullshit. A racist is a racist. You've known that. What's the outrage? What is the outrage?
Sorry, as far as why are people outraged?
No, I'm just saying, why are people outraged when you know what this douchebag does on a daily basis?
I mean, that's my thing too, and I said that earlier, and I was actually trying to find an actual tweet where he basically said, for them, they don't like them being the squad, as you mentioned, the four congresswomen of color. You don't like it here, go back to your country, go back to where you came from. We all know that's the quintessential racist rhetoric right there. Go back to your own country. You know, get out of our country. All of that. So I'm with you in that. I don't see what the outrage is about because racists do what racists do. But I think we should take it a step further and say that Trump didn't do that to anger them necessarily. He did it to energize his base. Elections are coming up.
And 4 of the Democratic candidates, according to the polls, which I don't believe polls, says that they're going to beat Donald Trump. They said Hillary was going to beat Trump by over 80%. How'd that turn out? Someone's on top.
I mean, it's all it is red meat. Trump knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. I'll say the most heinous, because before he was kind of towing the line. Well, there's decent people on both sides. You know, talking about Antifa and then the actual white supremacists, which they kind of both are to some degree. But, you know, there's both people, fine people. So he was kind of like, not gonna...
Tight-roping.
But now he done jumped over the tightrope, okay?
Well,
go back to your own country.
And think about it. If he wins re-election, what has he got to lose by jumping to the other side? It got him to this point.
Right.
He can only serve 2 terms.
Trump is about the... And what did he say? What was his theme song on The Apprentice?
Oh, I don't
money. That's his thing. His whole thing is money. Trump don't give a damn about white people. He don't give a damn about black people, Mexicans. He only cares about the green dollar. That's it.
Mighty dollar
That's
bill,
it.
y'all.
That's all, so he knows what you gotta do. Listen, I need 4 more years. So what I'm gonna do is,
and I can run out of these statutes of limitations and all this other stuff.
And I'm going to say the things that most of the people who like me won't really say, but now I'm gonna say it for him.
And then once he gets reelected, he has nothing to worry about. He can say what the hell he wants and do what the hell he says. Stick it to you. Stick it to you.
Which it would behoove the Democrats to say, okay, we better get our stuff together.
Exactly.
Because to your point, Trump probably, at the rate we're going, will probably get another 4 years. To be honest, he's re-energized his base, and he's probably bringing more people on who feel exactly how you do, get out of our country, all this other stuff. You would think the Democrats would say, all right, what y'all want now? And I'm talking about y'all as black people. What do y'all want? We cannot afford to lose you, because if Trump stays in there 4 years, he's really going to do a bang-up job.
But see, the Democrats aren't going to do that. They're not going to come to us and say, hey, you know why? They're part of the white. They're the other arm of white supremacy. They don't need to come to us. Because they're like, you know what? If Trump stays in there, that's still good. Because guess what? I'm Nancy Pelosi. And I raised the most money. So as long as my apple cart isn't getting overturned, and I got my girl, Dianne Feinstein, Mrs. Racist herself, life is good for us.
And David Axelrod, who was Obama's former chief of staff and all this other stuff, he made a good point in saying, you know, Democrats fighting is just allowing Donald Trump to continue to drive a wedge, because you got Nancy Pelosi fighting with the freshman, and they, you know, back and forth, and while they're distracted, and I think it's probably calculated to some degree, he's out there, you know, energizing the faith,
fueling the fire. Exactly.
And he actually was trying to speak up in defense of Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
Saying, you know, how disrespectful. And
how many times on this show and on your show have I said, these are the same people?
Right.
They keep playing this game. That's why they don't want a third party to rise. They don't want independents to rise. Because when a third party, more than two parties, operate, they can't do the game that they're doing.
Right.
They're the same people. They get their money from the same donor. I say it constantly on these shows. When are you guys out there listening? And I do mean you guys, black, white, Asian, whatever, are going to get it.
Right.
On Dee's show Sunday, we talked about playing chess. And people say, oh, that's, you know, chess versus checkers, whatever it is. And somebody said, what did they say on the show? Like, oh, well, you know, a pawn is whatever, or, you know, something.
A pawn, if it makes it to the other side, it actually becomes a queen or something.
Right. And that's true. But some people say, well, you know, we got to just get along. No. Yeah, we're in the minority. So let's say we're a pawn. And that's what they've been using us as a pawn, political pawns. If moved intelligently, that pawn is a very important and strong piece, but it has to be moved intelligently. Tangibles.
Right.
Stay to what you're going to do. Stick to the plan. It gets to the other side of the board, you could become any piece you want. Right. Any powerful piece. So all this, we're the minority, what can we do? Whatever, we can do a lot. We can hold up legislation in this country. There's just so much we can do. So for all you white supremacists out there, you ain't got to sit there and try to change the narrative and tell me what Donald Trump meant. I know what he meant. I know what the man is. It is.
I mean, how do you explain that?
Right.
Well, what he really said was, no, the man said what he said.
Yeah, he said what he said.
Go back to your own country or whatever the case is, which is
which no president should be saying, because you're supposed to be president for the United States.
Well, I mean, but then, like, to your point, what's taking the Democrats so long to bring up impeachment? What's taking them so long? What are you going to go to do a resolution to censor him? Yeah. What is that actually going to do to him?
Ain't going to do anything. Ain't going to do anything.
He already has so many bad strikes on his name.
Right now, he is a unindicted co-conspirator. Nixon didn't do that.
Right.
And he got impeached. But he was smart enough to resign. Sorry, he didn't get impeached. He resigned before the impeachment came down. Clinton got his dick sucked. He got impeached.
Well, he got impeached for lying to Congress.
Right, but
the premise
of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it too much to ask the Democrats to do their job?
Okay, but listen. I think this is the point that we're missing. Okay, so you take it back to Nixon, back in those days. White people weren't really...
That's when the women were wearing the big grandma drawers. But go ahead.
Those were the days, right?
Exactly.
I don't know how much was whites, and I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. How much of a threat was everybody else to white supremacy back then?
Yeah, there wasn't much of a threat.
Not much. Nothing for them to be afraid of.
Right.
So now in 2019, you got Mexicans everywhere. You got black people, which, you know, we have the dominant gene. White people have the recessive gene. You know, follow Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, R.I.P. She talked about it a lot. I'm actually reading her book.
They say the first person was found in Africa, so there's nobody disputing that.
So the point that I'm making is when, you know, black people lie with white people, they don't get whiter normally, they get darker. So the country of the world even is browning. Well, let's stay in America. It's browning. Mexicans are everywhere. They're closer to becoming the majority. So that's why Trump is getting a free pass, because whether they're Democrat or Republican, Nancy Pelosi, whatever, they're all white.
They're all white, exactly.
And
threatened.
So they realize, and I wouldn't even doubt.
They're playing this game.
And I wouldn't even doubt this probably is not something. It's probably something they do talk about. At the end of the day, we're white, and we need to stay white. We need to keep everything as white as possible, because we have what you call white power, white supremacy, this, that, and the other. And so let Trump do what he's doing. We're going to act like we're upset a little bit, but Trump is actually leading the charge of doing what a lot of people tried to do. And I don't have a dog in the fight about immigration, but he's getting the Mexicans out of here. The more Mexicans leave, because it says like 1 million of them that's not supposed to be here, as of now, we get them out of here, then we stay white. Let's continue killing black people, police brutality, locking them up, turning them into homosexuals and the whole nine, and we get rid of all these threats, then we can keep it white.
And, you know, and I'm glad you brought that up, because here's the thing when it comes to the Mexicans. The Democratic Party, as you know, the ICE raids have started Sunday, and it was nice and quiet in the neighborhood.
It's still quiet.
Yeah, ain't no mariachi band. So a lot of the Hispanics here in the West, at least in my neighborhood and your neighborhood, the Democratic Party have given them the instructions of what to do. ICE cannot get a warrant to knock and kick in doors to go get these people. So the Democratic Party has told these immigrants, don't open your door. That's why Nancy Pelosi made that statement.
Yeah, I was listening to NPR, they were talking about that.
Now, here's where I'm going with this. Democratic Party is openly helping
people break the law.
Illegal people who aren't supposed to be here to begin with go against the law. Our government, mayors are doing it. Democratic mayors are saying, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to stop the police from helping these guys round you up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not involved in the roundup thing. I want you to listen to this. Name me one time the Democratic Party has used their unlimited resources to help the black community.
Right. I just saw a tweet right before we were on here. Eric Gardner, I guess, Supreme Court or somebody, whoever it is higher up, is deciding not to go with filing, I guess, pursuing justice for Eric Gardner, who was choked, infamously saying, "I can't breathe."
Right.
So, you know, where are these people at?
Yeah, where are these people at? But just think about that. The Democratic Party is giving these people instructions on how to combat not being deported out of this country or being put in facilities waiting their day in court or whatever they're doing. And it's horrific what's going on down there, whatever. Name me one time the Democratic Party has said, okay, black people, here's our plan for you. Here's what we're gonna do to stop police brutality.
They're all sitting up in podiums crying, talking about what the babies and this again, not minimizing the horrors of what they're going through. But it's like, you want me to leave my plight as a black woman for black people to go care about people who, you know, like I was explaining this to my daughter, we were going walking today, and I said, and the analogy I always use, you know, if I have bread for my family, you come knock on my door and I'm going to give you all my bread. I said, usually black people, I said, we're sick in that we don't understand how to cape for ourselves first. I said, because those people we're caping for, after you done gave them your whole loaf of bread to feed their family, when you realize you screwed yourself and you go knock on their door and say, oh, well, can I have some bread? Oh, no, I need this bread for my people. They're not going to be wrong. They might be wrong because they don't return the favor. But it's called self-preservation. And we as black people don't understand that. Republicans understand, we don't understand it. Everybody else understands. So it's like we don't have to talk about their stuff.
Right. I mean, the Democratic Party is using your money, your tax dollars, to abide and abet illegal people in this country. They're using your tax dollars, which you go to work for at that little part-time job. Let's face it, we're the last ones hired, first ones fired. Where's the outrage, black people?
Well, we're too busy, you know, whining, like I said, and crying about what's going on with the kids in the cages. Like, hell, y'all got kids in cages. It's called juvenile hall. It's called prison. You got our children doing adult life sentences, you know, and you're talking about some people who came over here on their own free will. You know, we talk about all the time, Jeff Sessions, when he was the Attorney General, stood at the border saying, if you come over here, you're going to be punished under the law.
I mean, he laid it out. He said, from this point forward, this is what's going to happen. And he stayed true. And don't get me wrong, we're not endorsing any of that. We're just telling you what actually went down.
Yeah, it's a fact. That's what he said.
But my thing is, you know, we've got people in prison, like you say. one of our biggest problems as a people is we want somebody else to do the work for us. You put in the work, I put in the work. The black media is trying to put in the work and waking people up. And you were saying recently down in Houston, some people didn't even know Kamala's record. This is why we do some of the stuff that we do.
And that's what I was explaining to the guy that I was speaking to his audience. I said it's up to people like me and you, and, you know, to keep waking people up. I said because a lot of people are just romanticizing the idea of having a first black woman. So we get all caught up in the first black, this, that,
First
the
black,
other.
first
black pooper scooper.
First black president didn't do shit for us, but go ahead.
Yeah. But, you know, and so I said we get caught up into that. So people are like, oh, I'm going to vote for her because she's black. And she's. I said, but it's up to us, the people who know, to actually pull people's coattails and say, hey, she ain't who you think she is. In fact, I just saw an article last night I posted where her campaign took money from Jeffrey Epstein's legal team.
Yes, of course.
They're all hooked up.
They're all the same thing.
And the article was saying, how dare you, and I'm paraphrasing, but how dare you, Miss Harris, sit up here and try to admonish Jeffrey Epstein when you've taken money from his people. What he did wasn't a secret.
Steve Mnuchin.
Right.
How are you going to be talking about the banks, Miss Harris, and you took money from and didn't even prosecute him?
Well, because, you know, she was on the Breakfast Club again.
Yes.
And they ate her lunch, the comment section, and she was talking about, she said the same thing, talking about all the banks, this, that, and the other. And I went on there and said, you're not going to talk about Steve Mnuchin and the fact that he gave you money after what he did to thousands of people?
All these people here, and some black people
lost their homes.
There are so many. And here, you know, here's the thing you really think about it. After she became AG and she left and went big onto the Senate, that's when it seemed like there was a big rise in homelessness here in Southern California. I mean, I'm not putting it all the blame on her, but I'm just saying she didn't do anything to correct what the banks did and punish anybody.
And that's what I was telling the guy. His name is Jerry, actually.
Okay.
And
give me a shout out. Jerry.
I said, Kamala is actually a conservative. If you really look at...
She ran far right of the Republican
and even
candidate.
People were confused, like, wait a second.
You're the
who's
Democrat,
the Republican here?
Yeah.
Is it her or is it him? You know, because a lot of her policies are very right-wing minded.
She used, as Attorney General of San Francisco and of the state of California, she used Biden's law to the fullest extent.
She did, and he tried to, you know, remind her of that, but it didn't come off.
Oh, and speaking of Joe Biden and Kamala, if you guys were watching that debate, I went over it the other day. And I was just watching it on YouTube, because, you know, I surf, just like you, I surf YouTube and just keep news. People always ask me, they go, how are you guys so versed on the news?
You got to actually look and find it?
Yeah, look and find it, and just surf and see what's trending and what are we talking about. Did you guys notice what Joe Biden said during the debate when he tried to answer Kamala?
He said it was up to the states to...
No. Not when it comes to that. He said, I became a public defender.
Right. He tried.
You became a prosecutor.
Right. See, and that's when he should have... And that's the other thing I was talking to...
I'm going to give him your number so he can know how to fix that. But, he has Simone Sanders. That's why he fucked up.
And we talked about that, too, on the other show I did. In that... Because he was like... Joe Biden he'll be prepared for her next time. And I said, yeah, he'll be prepared. And I said, but it wasn't just on Joe Biden. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. So
I'm not either. We're not endorsing Joe Biden.
I just see things, you know, from that point of view. But I said, everybody gave Kamala a pass. I said, but she will not get that pass again. I said, mark my words. And I brought
everybody's going to attack her.
And I brought the point you did, that Simone Sanders is a black woman who you'll see on CNN or whatever all the time.
Get your teeth fixed, bitch.
I didn't say that. He did.
I did.
You know, on CNN, you know, admonishing black men. She's just
constantly the war on black men.
But yeah, you didn't tell your candidate that this. If you're not able to answer anything, be prepared to answer this, because if anybody's going to come at you, it's probably going to be Kamala, and you should have been prepared. Joe should have been prepared to say, "Excuse me." You ain't the moral authority to be telling me what I did to black people, all the stuff you did to black people.
You became a prosecutor.
Right. Since you talk about my busing, and we were, you know, since
and my Biden's law.
We talking about education. Let's talk about you locking up people mamas for them being truant because they couldn't pay the $1,000 fine, so they had to go give you some time.
Right. You're gonna lock up the parents for what the kids are doing. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It just didn't. But I have to give him props on that. But I really listened and I said, that's right. He became a defender.
But like I told homeboy.
He doesn't get a pass.
No, it doesn't like that. It got lost in translation. I said because we as black people are in love with the
soundbite. Yes.
She told him, she gonna give Trump a run for his money. She ain't gonna just be letting him talk to her kind of way.
Trump will eat her thong. Simple as that. Knowing him, probably. But you got to listen to these things and think about it. When you come out of law school, it ain't like they make you. Okay, you're a prosecutor. You're gonna be you choose what you want to do. Give Joe Biden thing. Now he said he went to become a defender. Yes, he didn't say what kind of defender.
Right, who did you defend?
Yeah, maybe white people,
right.
Or his constituents, whatever. But still, the point is he went to become a defender. In the black community, law enforcement and prosecutors, there's a big bad stigma with that, and she chose to become a prosecutor. And in the state of California, she has the biggest record of incarcerating black and brown people ever.
But as I said to Jerry as well, I mean, see, all of that will get lost in translation because we're just in love with the idea of having a black woman as a president. But I always ask, well, what are you expecting her to do? Just be in office and be black?
No, I'm not gonna do stuff just for black people. No, I'm not gonna do that. Are you insane? Incoming tide lifts all boats. You've got to be crazy to do stuff just for black people. Are you? I'm a woman of color. I won't even say black.
Right, yeah.
Jeez, how dare you?
My mom said, you may be the first to do me, but don't be the last.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, everybody, please, I know we're joking and stuff, but this is some serious stuff, and I want you to think about this.
But that is low-key what she said.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, they're almost spot on.
Yeah. Sheila Jackson Lee, Joy Reid, all of these bots. Now, here's the thing. Look at their background. These people aren't ADOS.
True.
Look at their background. These people, they put these people in positions.
To hijack the narrative.
They hijacked our narrative. They don't have the same history as we have.
Right.
They don't get a check. You guys migrated here. And notice, Kamala's family migrated here after most of the civil rights stuff was done. When all the work was done, okay, let me get these benefits now.
Right.
Them Negroes have fought hard. Now let me go over here and jump on, what I can get. And that's what a lot of these people who've come here willingly after them. Just because you're black doesn't mean you have the same experience as those of us that are descendants of slaves.
Right.
And that's the difference you got to understand. I got a bunch of Nigerian friends. Don't tell me anything about the struggle. You don't know what our struggle is. Just like I don't know what your struggle is over there.
Right.
Two different aspects of things. But I want you guys to keep concentrating on what has been happening. And it's a distraction. So a racist is a racist. It looks like it acts like it sounds like it. It is what it is. Kamala Harris, look at her record. Based on her record, she's no different than the white supremacists of the South. I mean, there's no difference to me looking at her record.
Yeah, listen, when's the next debate?
Next month. Come on.
Oh, no, I thought it was this month. But
at the end of the month.
She'll never get that opportunity again to do what she did.
Never.
And if she does, then those people don't deserve to even be in the running. Right. If they let her, keep giving her a Hail Mary, because I'd have ate her. I'd ate the parsley, the orange slice, everything.
Orange slice and everything. Even the little condiments.
Everything.
Speaking of the candidates, this week, Beto Aicedo O'Rourke came out and said, my family is slave owners. I'm a descendant of a slave
You know
owner,
why he
and my
did it,
wife did
though?
that because he's tanking in the polls.
No, well, not only that, because they like, damn, they unearthing everybody as
Yes.
being tied to slave owners.
Yes.
You know, and so here you are going against reparations, but you are a direct beneficiary of slavery.
Well, here's the thing. He should never ran for president. He should have ran.
I forgot that he was
Yeah,
running.
yeah. He should have ran for the Senate in Texas. Now, because that's where he was known.
Right.
Actually, he wasn't really known. Whatever
Right.
it is. He had a better chance of unseating John Cornyn.
Well, what did he run for?
Senate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Senate down there. John Cornyn. He lost against Ted Cruz barely. John
Yeah.
Cornyn is coming up. He should have rethink and then did that. But that's what I'm saying. They throw these people out there to keep the nomination from burning.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
a
that.
distraction.
But here's the thing: why he did it. He's and they say 5%, right? He's desperate, but he's seeing that the ADOS movement and black people in the reparations thing.
But yeah,
So-
wasn't he talking about what, no for reparations?
No, not anymore.
I know not
Yeah.
anymore, but
now he's
before,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna right the wrong, and come with me, black folks.
And what he's saying is, listen, it's a matter of time before y'all find out that my people's
That
had
too.
slaves.
That too. But see,
Yeah.
he's trying to come on the right side of it and say, look, unlike these other people, I'm coming out honest with it, and I'm going to do something about it, and I'm going to do something for you. That goes to show you people that keep saying, well, there's not enough of us black people. We are the deciding factor. If that wasn't the case, Beto O'Rourke would not be caping toward us to
Right.
get our votes.
Right.
He needs that vote to bump him in the polls, or he's out of there. He's done.
Well, he's a smart man.
Yeah,
he's
very
a smart man.
But he should have done that from the very beginning.
Right, but they're not just realizing we can no longer willfully neglect black people anymore. Because we've been getting away with it.
Well, the thing is, they can't run from it because now we are tangibly focused on reparations. What are you going to do specifically for us? If you don't have a plan for black people, you might not progress in the
And I think it is definitely the ADOS movement.
Mm-hmm. And black media that keeps
Black media, and it's just an awakening, I think, everywhere. That people
are just tired.
Yeah, and it's like when you pose the question to people, I'm voting for, Kamala and Joe Biden, and then when you really ask them,
Why?
well, why? Because, okay, let me ask you, because I get the whole thing with Obama, Joe Biden, Obama, Kamala, the first black woman, all of that. But don't you expect for them to do something for you, or are you just into symbolism? Because those are usually the people saying, well, we need the Democrats are the party of the people. They do stuff for people. Okay, well,
Really?
what
have they done?
shouldn't you expect for Joe Biden and Kamala to do something
To have a
for
plan
you?
for you, but
Yeah.
they have a plan for illegals?
No, we just need to get rid of Trump.
No.
That's what the talking point is.
Kamala, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get in office?
I'm gonna take DACA all the way.
DACA, tax cut for the middle class.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that I sign on day one. I'm gonna sign legal citizen pathway to citizenship.
And a middle class tax cut. How many black people are middle class?
Can we get some biscuits?
Right.
I mean, can we get some? Can we something?
See, and that's when everybody gets excited. Oh, it's a tax cut for the middle class. How many black people are in the middle class? And I did look it up. The middle class, the mean for the nation is $163,000.
Right. If there's not a lot of people.
How many of
doing
us
that,
have $163,000? I don't make that annually.
I mean, even just to live in a place, depending on where you live in California, $160,000.
That isn't
you can
even
go
middle
live
class.
in San Francisco,
Nope. That's not even middle class here. That's
and
not
do
middle
well. You couldn't go live in LA and do well.
Right, that's
Rent
not-
your apartment in LA is somewhere up into what, $3,500?
About $3,500. $3,500. And you're living in
Yeah,
questionable
same thing with
area.
San Francisco. You
questionable
know,
area, no parking.
they renting beds for $1,700 a month. A bed with a little space.
Right. So, again, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep telling you guys what we're telling you guys. And until you guys wake up and realize sometimes it's best just to sit out and let the white folks
Do what white folks do.
And let them
Don't
sort
be
it
a
out.
pawn.
Right. And be unapologetic about it. Like I said, I know what a racist is when I see a racist. Don't try to explain nothing to me. And I told my friends on Facebook, don't come with the bullshit. I'm going to eat your lunch today.
You got to nowadays. Like that one post you put up when you was talking about their sending money to the border when we got people, I think it's veterans or something.
Veterans,
homeless veterans over here. And then, of course, a lot of your friends were, oh well, gosh, you know,
You're taking the context
yeah,
out. And
no.
no.
Anytime you're taking money from your own to go help another, that is a discussion, and it does correlate.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about, well, why can't we do both? Well, because they ain't taking care of the veterans and homeless people well.
Right.
Yeah, you want them to go be exceptional at taking care of people who are coming over here. They're choosing to come over here to the madness, so you leave a madness to come to more madness.
Right. And then, is their country going to take care of me if I went over there and doing what? No, they're not going to do that.
Well, I'll tell you, we want to test that theory. We'll try to trek through, get over here,
Honduras, right.
through Mexico,
right.
and see how far you get.
I'll be in that cage with all them other black folks.
Right, in Mexico. Ain't nobody talking about the black people in Mexico that the Mexicans are keeping from coming over here and keeping in hard conditions, but we talking about over here.
Right. Switching things real quick, just real quick. In the news 2 days ago, my man, I believe I can fly. I believe I'm gonna be touching the sky. I dream about it. My man R.Kelly, arrested on federal charges. These are federal charges based on the first case. Child Trafficking the Mann Act. That's what they got him on. Doesn't look good.
No, it don't
Your
look
thoughts?
good. My thoughts is, I've always said the same thing. I've always been consistent when it comes to R.Kelly.
Who lives in the Trump Tower.
He used to.
Yeah.
He got put out.
Isn't that funny how these people are all connected? Isn't that
It's not funny.
strange?
I think, when you woke, you kind of connected dots,
Yeah,
But my opinion is really, R.Kelly did to R.Kelly himself. He did that to himself. You know what I mean? Some people are going to get mad. Maybe they don't. Black people got other things to be worried about.
True.
Other than R.Kelly. R.Kelly got a Hail Mary when he beat the case before, and then he kept doing whatever he was doing. I don't know. Whatever you decide. I just feel like R.Kelly needs to worry about R.Kelly at this point, and we need to worry about ourselves. R.Kelly made great music. Should you be able to listen to his music?
Of course.
I don't.
Yeah. If you want to listen to it, it's fine.
It's music,
Right.
Should you support R. Kelly? That's a personal decision. I personally choose not to support R. Kelly. He did some horrific things to children, and he has to pay for it.
Right, absolutely.
However, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not saying one should get away with it, but so the feds have decided to pay for what you're telling me because I don't have any facts, but the feds have decided to take up the case that happened back in the day with R. Kelly. They're
Because people have given up some of his entourage.
Right, but then yet the feds have decided not to pursue charges against New York police officers who choked Eric Garner to death. So,
thank you.
It's like, are we really concerned with justice? What is this really
Robert
about?
Kraft has not been perp walked.
Yeah, what is this? But Cuba Gooding Jr., hey, but you ain't heard nothing else about it though. Is Kubrick still guilty?
Yeah.
I mean, what's really going on?
Donald Trump hasn't been perp walked. Weinstein case is still going. Your boy Kevin Spacey. You don't hear anything about these cases. The black man.
And the dude in L.A. that's killing gay dudes.
Right. The Democratic donor. You don't hear anything about these cases, but a black man who's illiterate or can't read. Sorry.
Right.
Illiterate. He can't read.
Or is illiterate. That's
yeah. They're going to go use all their resources of the government to get this man. And I'm not defending R. Kelly. What I'm saying is, look at the parallel of the justice system.
But we'll get more upset about what the feds are doing to R. Kelly than what the feds are not doing to the NYPD or what they did to Eric Garner.
You made a good point. We got a minute left. You made a good point in regards to Bill Cosby and the billionaire currently being charged with a crime. He was allowed to go home, and why couldn't they give that to Bill Cosby?
For doing way less.
Way less.
Like
grown
women who knew what they were doing.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, again, the system was not designed for black people. It was always designed to benefit white people. If you ever have any doubt, just remember that.
Wake up, people. I mean, this is getting some serious times, and I'm not a religious person, but we are in the end days, and all this is supposed to happen. In the second hour, D, what are you talking about?
We're going to be talking about 007.
007, James Bond himself.
Yes, or herself.
Wow. Wait, now, this is based on Jinx from Die Another Day, who was the spy in Die Another Day.
You talking above my head now.
Okay, well, if you got any questions in the second hour, let me know.
Sure will.
Because I have all the James Bond movies. I've read every book. The book novelization is always different than the movie, and so on and so on and so forth. But we're going to check out D in the second hour. We're going to pay some bills. We will be right back. People, you guys better wake up.
Don't believe the hype.
It's not getting any better. Again, don't believe the hype. We'll see you guys in the second hour.